Hi, I'm Dave Mecke, and you're watching What's Your Story, where you'll meet interesting people doing interesting things in interesting places you'll never see anywhere else. And here's today's story.
Today we're talking to Chris Nelson, who has shared a story with me that I found to be very interesting. And not unlike many of the stories that have gone on over the last few decades through the generations of war and being raised on farms and that type of thing in America. So I'm going to go back to when you were little, if that's okay.
Sure.
You were born on a farm.
Correct.
A dairy farm.
Yes.
How was that? I mean, what did you do? What was your daily routine?
Daily routine was far back as, well, I guess when you could walk, you were given to go feed the chickens.
Uh-huh.
Then as you got older, it was mix up the calf wean and feed the calves and the chickens and then the pigs and.
Okay, so this is a dairy farm and you're feeding chickens.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
You gotta have your chickens.
Okay. Good. So how many cows?
It's 300 head.
Were you an only child?
No, I had a brother and a sister
Uh-huh.
that were 10, 11 years older than me.
Okay, so today kids complain about making their beds.
Yeah.
What were your chores like?
Well, my chores was, like I said, was feed the chickens, the pigs, the horses, the calves.
Okay.
Take hay out in the pickup that my dad had put in the pickup, drive it around the field, climb over the stock rack, dump out the bales, count the strings and wires, bring the truck back, then park it.
How old were you when you were driving the truck?
6.
Okay. Your feet were barely long enough to hit the gas.
Oh yeah, you sit on the edge of the seat.
That's awesome.
Old 52 Chevy pickup.
Yeah. How did the farm start?
Farm started in 1948. My dad left Lewistown, Montana, where he worked for the county plowing roads. So he got tired of plowing roads and mowing in the summer, and they went over into the Ravalli County and bought 48 acres in 1948.
And they were from where?
Lewistown, Montana.
Prior to that?
That's where they.
I mean,
They grew up in
family.
that
I
area.
mean, so they grew up there, but the family prior to that came from
Denmark.
Denmark.
Yeah, they came over in the 1800s, about 1860, 1870.
Oh, so way back, yeah.
Great grandfather was a sailing captain.
Wow.
And they was in St. Louis with the fur trading company for a while, and then migrated into Montana and homesteaded land.
What was it like to grow up in Montana? A lot of us grew up in small towns, and we were close to our neighbors. You know, next door was wasn't even a stone toss.
Yeah.
What was it like growing up out there in Montana?
Well, growing up there, everybody was separated pretty much by a 40-acre field or more.
Okay, a lot of people don't even understand what 40-acre field is. How far is 40 acres?
Oh, heck. It's a distance. I live on an acre and a third now, and that seems like a lot. So
So a 40-acre field, you cross that and you could play games or do things
oh
with
yeah,
your
you
friends.
hide in the haystacks, or you play hide and seek, or the bears come out tonight, or I mean,
I don't even know what the Bears Come Out Tonight is. It sounds like a fun game, though.
yeah.
So you had how many friends out there in the middle of nowhere?
Oh, 3.
3?
Yeah, 3 neighbors.
And you had to work hard to do your chores in the morning, but what about the rest of the day?
Well, the rest of the day you went to school.
Yeah.
You know, I'd go in the kitchen, lay out bacon, make up pancakes from scratch, crack eggs, put it under a wet towel, put it in the refrigerator for my parents when they got done doing the milking. And
So everything short of cooking breakfast, you did.
yeah,
And Mom and Dad came in from their work in the fields or with
And-
the cows,
and then put everything together and ate.
and you were already gone to school.
Already gone to school, walked a quarter mile down to the bus stop, got on the bus, went to school.
What did you eat?
Cereal, had, you know, Wheaties, Raisin Bran, Corn Flakes.
So he ate Wheaties. Okay. From there, you worked on the farm, you helped out with the dairy and the chickens and all that kind of fun stuff, and you played out them. And what did you do after school?
Well, after school, you had the chickens and the pigs and the calves and all that routine
So you're
again.
back at it?
Again. And, you know, taking the hay back down to the field or turning the cows into the pasture, depending on the time of year. Came back in, did your homework. Usually by then it was getting dusk, dark, late, and it was time for bed.
Did you have electricity yet?
We had electricity. We had a cold water hand pump in the kitchen and an outhouse about 100 yards away.
Okay. So if you had to go bad, you had to hurry.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, we lived in a small house, probably not much bigger than this room here.
Yeah. So I understand that at some point that lifestyle shifted. How old were you when the family moved?
I was about 12 years old.
And where did you go?
We went to Long Beach, California, because my dad had died when I was about 6, 7 years old.
Okay. So here you are out in the middle of farmland America, Montana, raising milk cows, dairy cows, and you find yourself in Long Beach, California. That must have been an adjustment for a kid, or was it pretty much
I
easy?
don't know, I think I just took it in stride.
Yeah.
I was kind of nervous in a new school and and all that, but you just kind of take it in stride. And of course, there's always kids that are going to befriend you,
Yeah.
and you just pick up and go from there.
So you changed gears from milking cows to what?
To skateboarding and body surfing and taking out the trash was my biggest job. Maybe helping with dishes once in a while.
Yeah. Okay. So you're in Long Beach, California. You're having a good time. During the day, you're riding your skateboard, maybe do some body surfing. At one point, and I remember this period of time when we were at war and they were sending people to Vietnam, you were not, unlike most of us, you were drafted.
Right, we were back in Montana then.
Oh, you were back in Montana. How did you get back there?
Stepdad got out of the Navy, and the ranch, we took the ranch back over.
Oh, wow.
And then I was, of course, freshman in high school then. And of course, I finished high school and was in computer programming and repair school when I got my draft notice.
Yeah. A low number.
It's number 60.
Number 60.
Yeah.
And you were gone. So you're in Vietnam, you get back, post-traumatic stress syndrome. How does that manifest itself today?
Back then, we didn't know what it was. The VA didn't know. Well, back in World War II, they called it shell shock, I guess is what they was calling it back
Makes
then.
sense. Yeah.
Same in Korea. They didn't really come up with the PTSD thing until just a few years ago. I didn't know what I had. I knew I didn't like loud noises. I knew I didn't sleep well. So after the second tour in Vietnam, I didn't sleep with my wife no more because of my thrashing around and swinging in my sleep and stuff.
Wow.
I mean, that's just. But you don't know you're doing it.
Yeah, yeah.
The night sweats, the terror dreams. You relive your missions.
Yeah.
So.
Wow. Crazy. So a lot has happened between then and now. But I like the fact that we've got a little bit of a picture of what your life was like. Because something now, how many years ago? 2012?
2010 is when.
2010?
Yeah.
What happened?
2010, I was working at IHC hospitals here as a boiler operator, and I came in on a Friday at about 11 o'clock at night, had a letter from the VA that told me I had hepatitis C.
Wow. How did they find that out?
Through blood test. Everybody goes into the VA, gets a blood test.
So you just get something in the mail that says you have Hep C.
Yeah, at 11 at night, nobody to contact, no call in, can we talk to you or nothing.
Wow.
Just dropped on you.
Okay, what happens next?
Had 2 beers and a sandwich sitting in front of me and immediately quit drinking. I didn't even open the beers.
That did it, huh?
Yeah, I got on the computer and started reading because I had no other alternatives to find out what I had. To me, Hep C was something that intravenous drug users had, not me.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden I find out I have it.
So you got on the computer and you were looking this stuff up? Is that what you're saying?
To see what I needed to do and not do, what my life expectancy was, how could this be cured, how could it be stopped, what I needed to do to because there was no one to contact.
Yeah. Okay, so at one point things got worse instead of better. What happened next?
Well, there was a period of years there. I
Okay.
went in and been eating healthier and been playing with the pH diet. And then,
What the heck's a pH diet?
well, where your alkalinity, where you get your alkalinity to 7.36, rather than being acidic.
Okay, so
Then
your job was to get your alkalinity level to 7.36.
right.
Wow.
And I'd been playing with it. I hadn't been real serious. I'd quit the drinking. I'd been eating healthier, but not perfect. Then they called me in and told me I had a 1 centimeter cancerous lesion on my liver.
On your liver.
On my liver.
That's pretty, I mean, survival rate.
Well, they told me immediately I was on the liver transplant list.
Yeah.
9 weeks later, they're going to bring me back in and re-MRI me and see how fast the cancer is growing.
Yeah.
At that point, 3 days later, they're going to bring me in and radiate that spot, and they guaranteed me they could kill 92% of it. And hopefully they could get me a liver before it spread to my other organs or spread throughout my liver.
Yeah.
That was my prognosis.
So you're still here.
3 years ago, right? I'm still here.
So what happened?
Came into the water store and talked to Richard, showed him my letter, and told him I don't know what else to do.
I get my water out of the tap. There's a water store?
Yeah, there's a water store
Wow.
where you can get
Okay.
your alkaline water, and they got me a book on alkaline diet and explained to me that if I got my body totally alkaline, that the cancer won't live in an alkaline body. And 9 weeks later, when I went in and had my MRI, there was no cancer.
Wow. That's, I mean, okay. Talk to anybody and they will say that's a miracle. In part, they're probably right. But you did a lot of stuff with this whole alkaline thing. You were eating differently, right?
Right, I was eating
What kind of stuff were you eating?
broccoli, cauliflower, carrots, kale, raw Brussels sprouts, and no ranch dressing, no buttermilk dressing, all vinaigrettes.
Wow.
I was drinking 120 ounces of alkaline water a day with baking soda and lemon to flush my system.
That's an adjustment.
That's quite an adjustment from beer and a glass of wine.
Were you a meat eater
Oh
for the
yeah,
most part before
well,
that?
because grew up on a ranch, so
Yeah.
you know you always used to
That's
eat
what I'm
meat
thinking.
and bacon and ham and all that good stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, you created a bacon breakfast for your parents when you were a kid.
Right.
That's where it all started.
Right. Yeah. I mean, you grew up on the farm with well water and your own butchered animals, your own eggs, your own fresh garden.
So you show up at an alkalinity store, or an alkaline water store, and you were eating differently. What happened next? You've got cancer of the liver.
Right. Well, I was also working in a warehouse then. I'd quit working at IHC hospital because the PTSD I had through the military. I can only work something so long, so I went to an individual type job where I could work in a warehouse, and I was dropping 4 and 5 pounds a day by eating properly.
Nice.
And in 9 weeks' time, they brought me back in, did the MRI on me. There was no cancer. It was gone.
So how do you explain that?
I explained it through the diet I'd done. Because they called in people from experts on cancer in, and they looked at the old shots, MRIs, and says, yes, that's cancer. And they looked at the old blood test, which says, yes, his liver function is through the roof, and the cancer is there. And the new one showed I didn't have the cancer, and that my liver was rejuvenating, is what they was told.
There's a lot of people that would say that's a miracle, and a lot of people that would say that's amazing. But you actually changed the entire makeup of your system to a more alkaline.
Embodiment, I guess you'd say.
That's 7.36.
36, yeah.
How do you measure that?
pH paper. Every morning still when I get up and go to the bathroom, I'll pee on a piece of paper, and the color of it tells me where my pH is.
Huh. That would be a new routine for me.
Yeah. That's a daily lifestyle for me.
Yeah, so you're 64?
64, be 65 in April.
Be 65 in April. Okay, so we're pretty close in age. I'm a little younger than you are. How does that change your entire mentality and perception of life?
Well, I'm always on a nervous scale because you still never know. I've got liver damage from the Hep C that I gained through a blood transfusion. So I'm cognizant of that.
Yeah.
So that's the other reason I've got to be really careful what I eat, what I drink, what I do, because if you don't,
Going
with the liver
forward.
damage, you can always come back.
Yeah. Are you at a different level of appreciation for life?
Oh, I love life. If I could, I'd live 300
How do-
years if they'd let me.
How does that manifest itself in your day-to-day now? Is that different, or are
Well,
you?
I'm fully retired because through injuries and PTSD at the VA won't allow me to work.
Right.
But, I mean, I've got an acre and a third of property, and we're letting the back desert part of it just be back desert, and we're planting little cactuses, kind of making it a little garden, you know, a little,
So,
and we can travel anytime we want to, you know, do things we want to do.
so a day in your life is
Unplanned.
unplanned, okay? That's a dream to a lot
Other
of
than what
people.
Mama wants to do.
Yeah. Very good, very good. What do you see going forward for yourself?
I just, I love spending time with people, with the wife traveling and seeing things. I like going to the ancient artifacts and stuff like that. I love driving back up to Salt Lake, seeing the grandkids, spending time with them. You know, until they get to be teenagers and they don't know you exist no more.
Yeah. So you've had a rich and full life.
Oh, I feel like I've lived 5 lifetimes. Literally.
That's why we've got you in here to talk about what your story is, on What's Your Story.